Alright, everybody, welcome to another episode of GCW Local to Global 1987. We're back with some GCW. We're here on the August 25th episode of Fuel number 132, and the final episode of the Local to Global series that we only have one A show on the schedule because in the next episode, Ignition makes its debut. I'm recording this episode the day after I recorded the three previous ones. So this one is being recorded on Saturday the 19th, which means I haven't seen WrestleMania yet because it's like 1:45 right now. And WrestleMania is only later. So no WrestleMania review right now, nothing to say about it. I'll talk about it probably in the next episode, depending on if I like it or not. We'll see. So we opened the pre-show. We got the Hollies getting a win over Sean Stasiak and Big Joseph. These are four members of Rival Pro. Just seeing who's decent in the ring and who might be coming on to the main roster soon. And it looks like Big Joseph gets a 48, which is not that bad. So 34. We got Chavo. We got Kaz Hayashi. Good. We're happy with that. Gets awful, but it's going to sell merch, so that's fine. Chavo gets a win over Kaz Hayashi. Chavo is going to acknowledge the crowd later tonight as well. But just getting him on the pre-show gets a 65. We got a tag team match. Let's change these gimmicks. Adequate, that's fine. Adequate, that's fine. So we've got the new tag team of the Trust Fund taking on the Godwins. The Trust Fund is Scotty Riggs, who is now going as Reginald Scott Riggs, and Otto Schwantz, who was Otto in The Interns, but he's now going as Bartholomew Bucklestone. And they are the Trust Fund. Basically, they're wannabe rich kids. So we got the Godwins getting the win on those idiots, and it gets a 57. So Godwins, they're decent in the ring. They're doing good, and they're gonna get a push soon, so that's fine. Farouk gets a win over Chaos Dynamite, and Farouk also gonna get a push after the brand split at some point. Probably not gonna be immediately, but he will get a push soon. Do not worry. I plan on having him be a world champion at one point. He's gonna win a title at one point. Because somebody pointed out, I think it was Quinn Sanders, I can't quite remember. They pointed out that Farouk never actually went on to win a world championship because in this mod he wasn't in WCW to win the title. I think he did go to WCW or he went to WWF, whatever, but they didn't put him as a major star, so he'll get some at one point. More developmental guys, Art Bar and Psychosis take on Taka and Funaki, and Taka and Funaki get the win. And Taka gets a 48, Psychosis 56, Art Bar 53, and Funaki with 34. So it looks like Art Bar might be coming back. Psychosis is going to come to the main roster very soon. He's going to be with the Cruiserweight division that's going to be on Fuel eventually with the brand split. So that's a little... you'll know that Psychosis is going to Fuel, but he wasn't going first. So there's no surprise there. Taka gets a 48 as well, so he's coming. He's going to come soon too as well. Taz gets a win over John Cronus and a T-Bone Suplex. Not much to say about that one. We open the show with co-owner of GCW, James J. Dillon. And he announces Ignition makes its debut next week. And it will be on September 2nd, but it airs on September 4th. So this gets a 63. The Godfather gets a victory over Steve Blackman. Hits him with that scoop power slam and a 653. So not too bad. Car crash match. 59. Chavo acknowledges the crowd. Basically, he talks about why he attacked Mysterio, why he cost him the match, and basically, Chavo is the new leader of the Latino World Order. So Chavo is now in charge of the LWO. We got Jesse Ventura backstage. He's talking to Showrock, and he says, you have to take Steve Austin out of action by any means necessary. Ventura is pissed that Austin won the Summer Series, so he tells Big Show and Shamrock, you got to take him out. Billy Gunn gets a victory over Al Snow in 7:46 with the Fameasser, so 75. Decent match. J.J. Dillon is backstage. He announces next week a tag team gauntlet between 5 teams. I don't remember. 5 or 6 teams. And the winners of that will be the number one contenders for Triple H and Shawn Michaels tag team championships. So he's 70. Booker T's gimmick is getting stale, so let's mark that down. But Brian Pillman cuts a promo. And Booker T ends up coming out, the former Intercontinental Champion, and Chris Candido and Chris Jericho eventually come out as well. And tonight in our main event, we're going to see Pillman and Booker face off against Candido and Jericho. This gets a 70. Alright, X-Pac gets a win over Agia in 541 with the Tombstone. This is a high spots match, and it gets a 67. Steve Austin cuts a promo, and Showrock come out. And we're going to see a tag team match on the first Ignition. Shamrock and Big Show versus Steve Austin and a partner of his choosing. He just needs to find a partner. So this gets a 77. Unfortunately, Shawn Michaels and Chyna don't click. But Shawn Michaels gets a win over Grandmaster Sexay next. Just letting Grandmaster face off against someone who's actually good in the ring. And Shawn gets a 90 to Christopher's 64. So we're going to have to take Chyna off as manager. Chyna, manager, Shawn. Okay. But it gets a 70, so we'll take it, I guess. Bit of a weaker episode of Fuel. Chris Benoit gets a backstage promo, and he's willing to be a fighting United States champion. He's ready for anything, and that's just a quick little promo. Cactus Jack talks to Steve Austin backstage, and he tells him, I want to team with you against Showrock on Ignition. And Austin says no, so Cactus Jack will not be teaming with Steve Austin at Ignition, so this gets a 92. We got Undertaker and Kane cutting a promo, and Jesse Ventura and Paul Bearer come out, and Ventura basically tells Kane that he has to join the Syndicate, and when Undertaker and Kane refuse, Bearer and Ventura tell him that if he doesn't join Syndicate, Kane will be sent back to the Asylum. So basically this is just stealing WWE's, or WWF's at the time, storyline for Kane. We're just going to copy and paste. So if Kane doesn't work for Ventura under the Syndicate, he'll be sent back to the Asylum. So this gets an 87. And then our main event, Brian Pillman and Booker T get a victory over Candido and Jericho when Pillman pinned Candido with an air Pillman. And this gets an 82. So 85, a bit of a weaker episode, but it's not that bad. We'll take it. Alright. Done with that one. Now we gotta go fix Booker T's gimmick, and we have to go fix Chyna as manager for Shawn Michaels, and then we have to book Rival TV. And this episode is the final time that I'm gonna be showing the booking process and the results for Rival TV. After this, I'm not gonna be showing Rival TV. I'm just gonna let them do their own thing. I'm still gonna probably manage it, but I'm just not gonna show the booking process. And the shows, I'll tell you probably what's going on. I'll show you like a quick picture of the events or something. I might show the events. I'm not showing the TV. I might show the events. We'll see. Alright, let's go take care of that. So, Tri-State. Perfect. Skip that. Yeah, sure, come on in. So we're opening with an angle. We've got Rob Van Dam cutting a promo, and he's going to be interrupted by Marvelous Mark Marrow. So RVD promo. Marrow comes out. They face off on pay-per-view at Marvelous Massacre. Right now it's just called Massacre in kayfabe, but it's always going to be Marvelous Massacre. It's just Mark Marrow is going to tell Paul Jones, you should rename it to me. You should rename it after your champion. And Jones is going to agree with that. So, the Train versus Big Joseph. Train gets the win on his debut. Alright, we've got Stevie Ray cutting a promo. Let's go do that. And Goldberg's going to come out. Let's do 10 minutes there. Alright, then we got... Oh, there we go. I forgot it was on this episode. Mark Marrow's going to convince Paul Jones to rename the pay-per-view. Alright, then we got a tag team match It's going to be Lance Storm, Just Incredible versus Darren Drozdov and Baron von Buchanan. Give them 9 minutes with Lance Storm getting that win. Then we're going to have a promo between Bubba, Devon, Edge and Christian's going to come out. So Dudley's promo. Okay, make that 5 minutes, that's fine. And that's going to cause a sudden tag team match, which is going to be our main event. So Bubba, Devon, Edge, Christian, 14 minutes, with the Dudleys getting the win. Alright. Opening segment, Mero, RVD exchanging words. They're facing off on pay-per-view. The Train, his choo-choo gimmick got very good. That's fantastic. Flying leg drop, 33. Stevie Ray gets a promo and Goldberg ends up coming out. And we're going to see them face off next week. Well, I guess you guys aren't going to see it, but that's what's happening next week. Mero convinces Paul Jones to rename the Massacre pay-per-view to Marvelous Massacre because he's the champion. 51. Impact players make their debut as a tag team. They defeat Darren Drozdov and Baron von Buchanan when Storm submitted Baron von Buchanan with the Canadian Maple Leaf, so this gets a 56. Dudleys and Edge and Christian exchange words, and then our main event, the Dudleys get the victory over the Coalition when Bubba pinned Christian with the 3D. 56, not too bad. Yeah, so what I'm going to do with Rival Pro is I'm going to stop showing the Rival TV episodes, but I'll continue to show the pay-per-views, the results for the pay-per-views. Because why not? And since Marvelous Massacres... Yeah, Marvelous Massacre will be happening next episode. So next episode we're going to get Fuel, Ignition, and Marvelous Massacre. So Owen Hart is now officially in Rival Pro. That's great. He's going to be getting a shot at the title soon. And then we've got this to take care of. Oh, Sting's back. That's great. What was I going to do? Yes, take Shawn Michaels. Take off China. And then we got to fix Booker T's gimmick. And I'm going to go ahead and simulate up to Fuel, and then I'll do the TV deal for Ignition. Alright, let's make this TV deal. So, Ignition. A show, 1.5 hours. Let's go take care of this. Yep, that's fine. We're going to be broadcasting it on NBC. So let's go. Ignition. That's why I had the specials for GCW on NBC. It was for kayfabe, or in storyline, or in the wrestling world, to explain it, or in game. NBC offered GCW a deal to have specials, and GCW acquiesced. You know, we had those shows. And since it went well, NBC was interested in maybe hosting Fuel, and GCW decided, no, you can get Ignition, though. And we also want to break into Canada, so let's do a 2-year deal on late night. We'll change it if we have to daytime, if we can't crack 83, I think. I think we can. 15%, 2 years. Let's do it. So we got Ignition on TV for 2 years at least with NBC. We got enormous coverage in the U.S., and in Canada, which is fantastic because we have no popularity in Canada. We have the US, we have Mexico growing, we have the British Isles growing, we have Japan. Europe is steadily getting there, we just got it, and then we have nothing for Australia and India. I'll take care of other broadcasting deals in just one moment for Ignition. Let's just look at the rookie list and then we'll end the episode. So who do we got? Anybody interesting? doesn't really appear so. Bunch of created wrestlers. Ricky Banderas is alright, I guess. Judas Macias from TNA. Ron Killings I'm going to bring in after the exodus of talent for Rival Pro. Shark Boy. Alright, nobody that I'm really super interested in. How about women? Yeah, not much. Molly Holly's there, I guess. But, alright. So thank you guys for watching this episode of GCW. Make sure to like if you like this video, subscribe if you want more. In the next episode, we will be running an episode of Fuel, but we will also be running the first ever Ignition. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, and goodbye.